Couple things I want to alert you to why I think the water softener is not softening any longer, especially it's very obvious on plastic items. Like there's just, my water's very hard, so there's a lot of white, it's probably like calcium or something, I don't know what it is, but anyways, you're gonna have a film on all your stuff. I mean, my glasses. Okay, if you're watching this video, you're probably having some issues with your water softener not softening your water. I'm gonna make 2 videos out of this. The second one's gonna include what I'm doing here. But just to get you started, if you want to save some money, you can do some easy troubleshooting before you phone the repair guy. That way you're gonna avoid additional expenses of him coming here and trying to figure it out. It's a very simple thing to do, one of the tests. And let's go through that, because this will save you a significant amount of money if you can just phone them up and say, this is my issue, come and fix it for me, if you're not able to do it yourself. But this part you can do yourself. All you do is press and hold the mode button here. Hold it for about 3 seconds. There we go. And then on this one, you press it 2 more times. This is the one we're looking at right now. The 3 zeros. That's the water flow indicator. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go turn on a tap back here, and what should happen is this number should start counting, and it should remain counting. If it goes up a little bit, like say it goes up to 8 or 10 or something, you see it move and then it stops while you still have your tap open, that means there is still an issue with that little turbine that registers the water flow. It should continually run nice and smooth. And give me a sec here, and fire this up. Okay, so my water's on and you can see it counting up. It goes up to a certain number and then it resets back to 0. That indicates a gallon each time it beeps and comes back. So the more you open the tap, the faster that number should run, and it should keep running. If it ever gets stuck while the water is on, that means that that little turbine is getting stuck and it's not registering water flow. So if it doesn't register water flow, that means your water softener won't know that it's used water and it will not regenerate. Okay, I'll go turn the water off. There we go. Okay. So, in your situation, let's say that, well, okay, I did that test, and no, it did not move, and it got stuck, or it just stayed at 0. If it did move a little bit, but then it stopped, that's just a sign that it's probably just that little turbine. But if it just stayed at 0, this is the next test you can do. Very quickly, it's very easy to do. Okay, this is the little sensor that goes to the circuit board, and what we're going to do, we're going to pop this off, and this is not only going to show us if the actual sensor is working, it's going to also say that, well, the circuit board's good too. So again, to do that, it's just clipped on here on this unit. You just lift up and get the other side here. Oops. It's no big mystery. Just pulls out like this. And inside, in that pipe, what I was talking about with that little turbine thing, there's some magnets in there. And what happens when it spins, it activates this sensor. And what you can do, I'll just try to get this all in view. Now if you have a little like fridge magnet, that's all you need. You need a little wee magnet. I have one off my fridge. It's just like one of these little, and just pass it across here. I just have to get it in there right. But you see, if you get the magnet on the right side, so it's working. So you know the sensor's good. The circuit board is registering what the sensor is sending. So again, that's a good indication. It's just simply that little just a second. Better move my camera over here. So again, that's just an indication that little turbine is stuck in there. There's some dirt in there and it needs to be cleaned out. And that's the end of this video, and I'll show you the process if you want to try to do it yourself. For some people it won't be an issue, but for others, I mean, it takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of knowledge. But there you go. I mean, just put your sensor back on there. But that's an easy thing you can do to check to see if you have the water flow registering. Again, if it doesn't register, water softener will not know to regenerate. Alright, I'll add on to this video and move forward. Okay, now we're taking another look here. If you have to take out the flow meter, this is just the sensor here that I showed you, that thing I pulled out. We checked with the magnet, it seems to be working. So that means that it's the actual flow meter is jammed or something's wrong with it. You got the indications there's no flow. This is going to be the problem. First thing you need to do is turn the water off to the water softener. So you can push that valve in. I have some other valves I can turn off also. Maybe open up a tap, relieve some pressure out of the system. And this, as I said, I was doing some pre-work to get this started. And remember the retainer clips. Well, mine were really hard to get off, and you know, I broke this one. But if you break them, don't throw them away, keep them, because you'll be able to snap them back in after, and they'll still hold fine. You might have to tape them in to make sure they don't fall out, but these seem to snap in and stay in anyway, even though it's broken. Like you can see, I broke this piece off here, but don't worry. Just remember, you have to take out these clips. There's one at the back. On the other side here, I got that. You have to use a screwdriver. Get in there with a screwdriver, and you know, you gotta pop the ends out. Hopefully you can see that. You gotta pop these out. And in theory now, I have my water off. Probably gonna get some water spraying out a bit, but I'm gonna pull this out from the wall and we'll check out that little, it's like a little turbine in there. So, I don't know, here we go. Should come out. There we go. Okay, a little bit of water. Might want to unplug your unit when you're doing this. Alright. There we go. Okay, I've been working to get out this isn't the actual turbine, this is just part of it. And I got a little screwdriver and I'm working on getting out the actual little turbine unit. And here it is. So I'm just gonna, I'll go rinse this off. See, it has little magnets in it if you can't see it. When it spins, that's probably how it registers. So just gonna go in here, clean out any gunk if there's anything in there. I'm gonna go get a flashlight and look in there good. And okay, I looked in there and there's a little bit of like carbonish looking stuff, some grime in there. What I'm gonna do is I have a spray bottle. It shoots a pretty good stream, and there's vinegar in here. And all I'm gonna do is squirt some vinegar in here and flush out any of the particles that are laying down, sort of, you know, where that little turbine sits, because maybe it's getting jammed up, it's gritty or something. So just gonna go ahead and flush that out. Take this one first. Well, actually, I'm gonna, hopefully you can see this. Goes in the, if you're not sure which way it goes in, the magnets were at the back. These little two round things, those must be the magnets there, and those go at the back. The metal shaft part goes in here, so it's supposed to just spin like that. We're just going to slide that in and hope for the best. Hopefully it'll work. Okay, so I made sure that it was in place. I had to go in a little bit further, It kind of seats down in there. But what you can do now, take your small screwdriver and you go sort of gently go through the front here, and then you can put it onto the little fins of that turbine, and you can spin it, and it's spinning, to me it seems freely, so let's keep our fingers crossed. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back into that water flow mode. Remember how I showed you that? And I'm going to spin this and see if it makes it count. And yes, it did. It notched up the flow meter just by spinning it, because those magnets were going around the sensor. Okay, so that seems to be the issue. Hopefully it's not worn out or something and it was just some grime in there, but it is spinning right now. So let's put it back together. Thankfully mine's not full of water and stuff, and it doesn't have too much salt in it. So if yours is really full of salt and water, you won't be able to move it like this. And let's get this lined up. A little bit of flexibility in there. You want to make sure it's sliding into the holes nice. There's not a bunch of friction or anything. You know what I'm saying. Get a little closer here. So take your time, do some alignment. And it looks like this should be good to go. See, it slid in very nicely. So put those black clips back in and let's give it a try. Oh, remember that that one clip that I broke. Remember, if it's fitting together, it really doesn't need these clips. These clips don't do anything except, you know, if for some reason the softener gets bumped, it won't come flying out or whatever. But anyways, this one I broke it, so I'm still going to use the clip, push it into the slot, and actually as soon as there's some pressure on it, like it's being held in already by itself. But just for the heck of it, just so that one piece doesn't fall out, I'm just going to put a piece of tape on here. Okay, now, so it's all together. Go turn on your household water or whatever, and then make sure that you put your unit back into service. So you pull that out, and let's go see if it worked here. Okay, let's go back into the water flow mode. Oops. Okay, hold for 3 seconds. There's the flow numbers there. That's obviously what the issue is. I don't know if it's solved, if it's going to jam up again, or else maybe I need a new little turbine in there. But I'm going to monitor this, and this is exactly what the problem was, why my machine wasn't softening. So check it out whenever your machine starts running or whatever, or if you run some water and happen to be downstairs, go into that counter mode to see the water flow. See if it's working. Alright, I think this was somewhat successful, and I think it was helpful. It certainly was for me. I learned something. Thanks for watching.